15 times Princess Anne warned us about Camilla Parker-Bowles. Princess Anne has never been one to mince words, especially when it comes to the people close to the royal family. Over the years, there have been countless moments where she's made her feelings about Camilla Parker-Bowles crystal clear, if you were paying attention. Whether it was subtle remarks, cold body language, or outright tension during public appearances, Princess Anne has sent warning signals about Camilla long before the world fully accepted her as a key figure in the monarchy. What did she know that the rest of us didn't? In this video, we're counting down 15 moments where Princess Anne might have been trying to warn us about Camilla. Could these hints have foreshadowed the drama and scandals that followed Camilla's rise to power? Let's dive right in. Number 1. Early disapproval. From the very beginning, Princess Anne didn't hide her disapproval of King Charles and Camilla's relationship. As someone deeply devoted to the image of the monarchy, Princess Anne believed that the affair between her brother and Camilla would ultimately damage the royal family's public perception. Princess Anne, known for her no-nonsense attitude and strong sense of duty, reportedly thought that Camilla's presence would bring nothing but negative attention to the crown. This wasn't just about personal feelings. Princess Anne recognized early on that the British public held the monarchy to a higher standard. For her, King Charles' continued involvement with a married woman, especially someone with a complicated romantic history, risked undermining the moral authority the royal family was expected to uphold. While others might have been more willing to overlook the affair, Princess Anne was firm in her belief that allowing Camilla into the royal fold would invite controversy, especially in an era where public opinion mattered more than ever. Number 2. The third wheel warning. When King Charles married Diana, Princess Anne reportedly took it upon herself to warn her brother about the dangers of maintaining a close relationship with Camilla. She understood the risks involved in being seen as unfaithful to the beloved Princess of Wales. By keeping Camilla in his inner circle, King Charles risked tarnishing not only his marriage, but also the reputation of the entire monarchy. Princess Anne was particularly concerned about the potential fallout if the media or public caught wind of King Charles' ongoing relationship with Camilla while he was still married to Diana. The British press had a reputation for being merciless, and Princess Anne feared that the truth coming out would not only devastate Diana, but could also cause irreparable damage to the monarchy. Her advice to King Charles was clear: distance himself from Camilla to protect both his marriage and his public image. Unfortunately, her warnings went unheeded, and the consequences were more significant than even Princess Anne could have predicted. Number 3. Public image concerns. Throughout the years, Princess Anne repeatedly warned her brother about the long-term consequences of associating with Camilla. Princess Anne had always been acutely aware of how the royal family was perceived by the public. She believed that bringing Camilla into the spotlight would only tarnish the family's reputation. The monarchy's image, Princess Anne knew, was fragile and often hinged on the public's emotional connection to individual royals. Camilla, as a figure tied to King Charles' infidelity, was far from a sympathetic figure in the eyes of many. Princess Anne saw the writing on the wall. Embracing Camilla as a central figure in the monarchy could alienate large portions of the British public, especially those who remain loyal to Diana. For Princess Anne, the monarchy's long-standing image of dignity and tradition was at stake, and she feared that the decision to publicly acknowledge Camilla would lead to years of negative press and a gradual erosion of public trust in the royal family. Number 4. The impact on Diana. Princess Anne, who'd always had a cordial but distant relationship with Diana, also warned King Charles about how his involvement with Camilla would ultimately affect the Princess of Wales. While Diana was beloved by the public, Princess Anne recognized that she was fragile, especially given the intense media scrutiny that surrounded her marriage to King Charles. Princess Anne reportedly feared that Camilla's involvement would not only lead to personal disaster for Diana, but could also turn the princess's public breakdown into a full-blown scandal. And as always, Princess Anne's thoughts returned to the monarchy. How could the family expect to maintain its reputation if one of its most beloved members, Diana, was seen as being pushed aside in favor of Camilla? Princess Anne, though never one to indulge in gossip or drama, understood the devastating personal and public implications of King Charles' affair. and her warnings were a mix of concern for Diana's well-being and the monarchy's stability. Number 5. Questioning Camilla's loyalty. It's no secret that Princess Anne has always been fiercely loyal to the crown and expects the same from those within the royal circle. When it came to Camilla, Princess Anne reportedly had serious doubts about her loyalty to King Charles and the royal family. Princess Anne had seen firsthand the pressure that came with royal life, and she wasn't sure Camilla could handle the scrutiny, the responsibilities, or the sacrifices required of someone in such a prominent position. Furthermore, Camilla's past, particularly her reputation for being involved with King Charles while still married to Andrew Parker-Bowles, made Princess Anne question whether she could fully trust her brother's partner. Loyalty to Princess Anne was everything, and she feared that Camilla's prior behavior would reflect poorly on the family. Her concern wasn't just for King Charles, but for the monarchy itself. Could Camilla's history be a liability? For Princess Anne, the answer was a resounding yes, and she didn't shy away from making her doubts known. Number 6. A royal reputation at stake. Princess Anne's concern about the monarchy's reputation didn't stop at loyalty. She also feared that Camilla's history would forever taint the royal family's image. Camilla was no stranger to public controversy, having been part of one of the most high-profile love triangles in modern history. For Princess Anne, who was deeply protective of the family's legacy, this was a significant red flag. She believed that Camilla's involvement with King Charles, particularly while he was still married to Diana, would continue to haunt the monarchy for years to come. The British public had a long memory, and Princess Anne understood that they wouldn't easily forget Camilla's role in the breakdown of King Charles and Diana's marriage. Princess Anne's warnings reflected her deep understanding of the pressures faced by the monarchy in the modern era. She knew that one scandal could undo decades of careful image management, and she feared that Camilla's past could lead to precisely that. Number 7. Concerns over Camilla's role. Princess Anne has always been a realist, and when the topic of Camilla potentially becoming Queen Consort was raised, she reportedly expressed significant concerns. Princess Anne didn't believe that Camilla was suited for the role, given her controversial past and her complicated relationship with the public. Princess Anne understood that the position of Queen Consort carried with it a heavy burden. It wasn't just about being King Charles' partner. It was about representing the monarchy on the global stage. For Princess Anne, the idea that Camilla could be seen as a fitting representative of the British crown seemed unlikely. She feared that Camilla's history and the ongoing public skepticism would prevent her from ever being fully accepted in the role. Princess Anne's warnings were clear. The monarchy couldn't afford to have a controversial figure as Queen Consort, and the public backlash could be severe. She believed that Camilla's past would always be a stumbling block to her full acceptance. Number 8. The too soon warning. Following the tragic death of Princess Diana in 1997, emotions were raw, and public sentiment was overwhelmingly in favor of the late princess. During this period, Princess Anne reportedly warned King Charles that introducing Camilla too soon into the public spotlight could backfire spectacularly. Princess Anne, always attuned to the mood of the British people, understood that many were still grieving Diana and would see Camilla's sudden emergence as insensitive and even disrespectful. She cautioned her brother that moving too quickly could not only reignite negative feelings towards Camilla, but also stir resentment toward King Charles himself. The monarchy, still recovering from Diana's death and the immense media scrutiny that followed, was in a delicate position. Princess Anne believed that any premature moves regarding Camilla could irreversibly damage the royal family's public standing. Her advice was simple: give it time. The public needed space to grieve Diana before they could even begin to consider accepting Camilla. Number 9. The public versus private persona conflict. Princess Anne had another serious concern about Camilla: the stark difference between her private and public personas. While Camilla might have been well-liked within certain private circles, Princess Anne was skeptical that she could withstand the relentless public scrutiny that came with being a royal. Princess Anne, who'd spent her entire life in the public eye, knew better than anyone how tough the media could be. The British press was unforgiving, and she worried that Camilla, who'd managed to stay somewhat in the shadows until then, would not handle the transition smoothly. The royal family had been burned before by media scandals, and Princess Anne foresaw a different road ahead if Camilla became more visible. Princess Anne's warnings were grounded in her extensive experience with both the press and the public. She knew that Camilla's every move would be analyzed, criticized, and compared to Diana's legacy, and she wasn't confident that Camilla would pass the test in the public eye. Number 10. The public opinion battle. For years, Princess Anne had expressed concerns that the British public would struggle to accept Camilla, particularly in light of her involvement in the breakdown of King Charles and Diana's marriage. Diana's popularity had been monumental, and even after her death, her memory cast a long shadow over the royal family. Princess Anne understood that, in many ways, Camilla would always be seen as the other woman, and this negative perception would be difficult, if not impossible, to shake. Princess Anne didn't just base this on her personal views. She had a keen sense of the public mood and how it could shift. She warned King Charles that despite his personal feelings for Camilla, the people might never fully embrace her. Winning over the public would be an uphill battle, and Princess Anne feared that Camilla's presence would continue to cause friction within the family, as well as with the general public. Princess Anne's concerns were rooted in the knowledge that public opinion could make or break the monarchy. Number 11. The trust factor. Princess Anne reportedly had significant concerns about how Camilla's re-entry into royal life might affect King Charles' relationship with his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Diana's death had left a deep wound in the family, and Princess Anne feared that Camilla's presence would complicate the already strained dynamics. Princess Anne believed that King Charles' decision to publicly commit to Camilla could drive a wedge between him and his sons, who were still grappling with the loss of their mother. She worried that William and Harry might struggle to accept Camilla, especially given her involvement in their parents' troubled marriage. Princess Anne's warnings were not without merit. She understood the deep emotional complexities at play and how important it was for King Charles to maintain strong relationships with his children. For Princess Anne, the risk was clear. Camilla's return to the forefront of King Charles' life could further strain family ties and leave lasting damage on his relationship with his sons. Number 12. Crisis of image. Princess Anne has always been wary of the media's influence, and when it came to Camilla, she foresaw a storm brewing. She believed that Camilla's involvement with King Charles would only fuel the media's appetite for scandal, creating a frenzy that the royal family might struggle to contain. Princess Anne knew how ruthless the press could be, and she feared that the intense scrutiny surrounding Camilla's reintroduction into royal life would lead to years of negative headlines. Princess Anne's warnings came from a place of experience. She'd seen firsthand how media scandals could overshadow the important work of the monarchy, and she was concerned that Camilla's presence would invite relentless public and press criticism. The royal family had been through a media crisis before, especially during the breakdown of King Charles and Diana's marriage, and Princess Anne was adamant that the family could not afford another long-lasting controversy. Her caution was clear. Camilla's public involvement with King Charles was a media disaster waiting to happen. Number 13. Royal family tensions. It wasn't just the public and media that Princess Anne was worried about. She also foresaw tensions within the royal family itself. Princess Anne understood that Camilla's presence would stir up conflict, not just between King Charles and his sons, but also with other key members of the family. The monarchy is a tightly knit institution, and introducing someone with Camilla's complicated past into the fold could cause rifts that might never heal. Princess Anne was particularly concerned about how Camilla's increasing role within the family would affect relationships with other royals, including the Queen. Princess Anne's warnings were rooted in her belief that the monarchy's unity was essential to its survival, and she feared that the divisions Camilla's presence might create would weaken the family's ability to present a strong, united front to the public. Princess Anne knew that internal discord could easily spill over into public view, and her warnings reflected her concern for both the family's private relationships and its public image. Number 14. Caution or marriage. One of Princess Anne's most significant warnings reportedly came when King Charles and Camilla's marriage became a real possibility. Princess Anne, never one to sugarcoat her opinions, expressed serious reservations about the idea. She believed that marrying Camilla could lead to greater controversy for the royal family, reigniting the scandals that had plagued them for years. Princess Anne feared that the marriage would be seen as a final betrayal of Diana's memory, and that the public would never fully accept Camilla as King Charles' wife. For Princess Anne, the stakes were incredibly high. This wasn't just about King Charles' personal happiness, but about the future of the monarchy itself. She believed that marrying Camilla would lead to renewed media scrutiny, public outrage, and perhaps even calls for the monarchy to step aside. Her caution was based on a lifetime of watching the royal family navigate the complex intersection of personal relationships and public duty, and she wasn't convinced that this marriage would end well. Number 15. The Heirs image. Princess Anne's final and perhaps most profound warning revolved around King Charles' future as king. She reportedly advised her brother that his decision to publicly commit to Camilla could weaken his standing as the future monarch. Princess Anne understood that the British public's perception of the monarchy was deeply intertwined with its moral authority. King Charles' involvement with Camilla, particularly after Diana's death, had already cast a shadow over his reputation, and Princess Anne feared that continuing down this path would further erode his ability to lead effectively. In her view, King Charles' decision to marry Camilla could affect not only his personal legacy, but also the monarchy's future stability. Princess Anne's warnings reflected her deep concern for the long-term health of the institution she had dedicated her life to serving. She believed that King Charles' image as heir and eventually king could be permanently damaged by his association with Camilla, leaving the monarchy vulnerable at a time when it could least afford it. And there you have it, 15 moments where Princess Anne may have been trying to warn us about Camilla Parker-Bowles. Whether you believe her concerns were justified or not, it's clear that Princess Anne's always had the monarchy's best interests at heart. But what do you think? Was Princess Anne right to be wary of Camilla? Or do you think she was too harsh? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take on this. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!